Next on Sisterhood of the Second Act.
After more than a year of travel restrictions, the options are opening up. And on today's edition of Sisterhood of the Second Act, we're going to have a couple guests that are going to help us travel safely and in style. Stay tuned for this edition of Sisterhood of the Second Act.
Sisterhood of the Second Act is brought to you by... There's more inside the Hemp Mill than CBD products. There's a community. Stop in for Friday's Coffee Talk to enjoy free hemp coffee and treats. Patent-pending products made from hemp for anxiety, pain relief, and organic healthy eating. Cannabinoid products you can trust because the hemp is locally grown, processed, and formulated by us with patent-pending formulations. That includes our Pet Calm and dog biscuits. The Hemp Mill, women-owned and operated with nutritional offerings, local cards, gifts, jewelry, and trending fashions made by women-owned businesses. TheHempMill.net.
See where a grateful nation remembers its heroes, and where Thomas Jefferson came to relax. Where small-town charm is just down the road from big outdoor adventures. Find peace and quiet, as well as the sounds of family fun. Destination Bedford is located where the Piedmont Plateau meets the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Where ordinary ends, Bedford begins.
I'm going to be an oak tree.
I think I'll be a dogwood tree.
My kids said they'd be looking for a thorny tree for me.
With Evergreen, you can be a tree. Our biodegradable urn combines your ashes, natural soil additives, and a native tree of your choice. Be a tree and grow for tomorrow.
I want to be a tree.
Learn more at evergreenmemorialtrust.com.
From the Fox Radio Roanoke studios, here's Kathy Heberle.
Welcome to Sisterhood of the Second Act. I'm Kathy Heberle, and our guest today on today's episode is Samantha Taylor. And may I call you Sam?
Yes, you may.
Okay, Sam, tell us, you have a travel business in Salem, Virginia, and tell us how you got involved in having your travel business.
Well, Kathy, I've always loved to travel, even from the time I was just a small child. And as I grew up and explored different career paths, I decided I wanted to make a pivot. And since travel was something that I always loved, I wanted to get involved with helping other people travel and do things that they wanted to do.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And you know, a lot of our audience are women who are over the age of 50. Some of them are single, and I think they would probably like to travel, but they don't know where to start. Could you give us some tips and things that you could help them do so that if they have some traveling that they'd like to do, you can help them get started?
Sure, Kathy. I think one of the most important things when you're looking to travel on your own is make sure that you start with an idea of what you're hoping to accomplish. You know, a lot of times we travel with other people and maybe our expectations aren't always met, so it's always a good idea to consider going out on your own. And if you'd like to maybe start with a list of things that you are interested in or would like to do and sort of work from there.
Thank you. So if they have, say, perhaps just a day or two to travel, is it worth consulting with a travel expert?
Well, definitely, because I think you want to make the most of your time and the most of your money when you're trying to plan these trips and make sure that you're really doing things that are enriching and that you can be excited about and that will make you confident to want to do more.
Like what kind of trips could you do in a day?
You could, if you're interested in wine or food, there are wine and food tours, or you could go to a spa, or even join some groups if you enjoy outdoor activities or that sort of thing.
So if you've never traveled alone before and you're not sure about joining a group, what's a good way to try that? What would be like to start out? How would you recommend for people that want to travel with a group but don't know where to get started? How do they do that?
Well, I would suggest maybe looking for local tours that are happening. Maybe even a lot of people are a little nervous about maybe bus tours to start out with, but I think that's a great way to try traveling on your own if you haven't before, and maybe see if there's some local excursions or something like that you could participate in to begin with.
Thank you. We're talking with Sam Taylor. She's our local travel advisor, and she's telling us how we can plan ahead to experience some different kinds of vacations. And I think another thing people are worried about is with all the COVID and things going on, how have things changed in the travel industry? And is it safe to travel again?
Well, Kathy, I think that's a very, very personal decision at this point, but I think we have to be very cautious and take all the precautions that you would take if you were going out and about at home. Just make sure that you're wearing a mask and that you're trying to distance from people as much as you can, but you can still go out and enjoy things within the guidelines.
So it's in your opinion, it's okay to travel if you do so in a safe manner?
Yes.
What about, so is it better then to maybe not go too far, like get away from home and be gone for 2 weeks if this is your first time trying to travel?
I think that would be wise. Maybe keep it closer to home as far as maybe getaways or more weekend sort of trips, long weekends, 3-4 days. I wouldn't suggest anything over that at this point.
Well, we are talking with travel expert Sam Taylor, and we're focusing on women traveling either alone or perhaps with a friend or two. So say there's a small group of women that want to try something different, and how do they go about getting some ideas if they don't know where to go and things like that? How do you help them with that?
I would suggest if it was a preformed group already of 3 or 4 women, that they sit down and talk to someone such as myself, or have a small meeting just themselves, and maybe list some things that they would like to do, or within a certain distance maybe from this area, and work out a plan that works for everyone, and pick a destination and maybe a couple days and go and experience it.
So what would be some ideas that they could try if they say, we have some time but we don't know what to do? What are some options that they have?
Well, I think from this area there are a lot of wineries, like I said before, day spas, things of that nature, or different shopping trips they could take, and maybe just a quick overnight. Leave early in the afternoon one day, go and spend a night somewhere and come back the next day, just to kind of, get a start.
So about how many hours of travel should you allow for one day or for 2 days of travel? What would just be a reasonable distance?
I would say probably 150 to 200 miles, no more than 2 or 3 hours away.
Okay.
Would probably be ideal. It's far enough to make you feel like you're getting away without, but close enough to you're still close by.
Okay.
Just in case.
Okay. So if they are having a shorter trip planned, how do you make the most out of having a shorter trip?
I think with a shorter trip, it's almost more important to plan a little more for those shorter trips than it is longer trips, because you have less time and you want to make sure that you maximize every minute of the time that you have.
Okay. We're talking with travel expert Samantha Taylor, and I would like to know, what are some considerations that women should think about when they are traveling, as far as traveling alone perhaps? What are some of the things they should consider?
I think first and foremost they should consider their own comfort level. I think just because you're at a time in your life or a situation where you would like to travel by yourself, I just wouldn't suggest that you're too brave starting out. It's good to be brave, but I think you realize when you travel on your own that there are maybe some things, if you traveled with someone else before, that you hadn't taken into consideration, like being able to keep up with all your own things and getting from place to place, just making sure you're comfortable with that.
And then how do women, how do you budget for? Can you work with different types of budgets, and are the trips that they plan, should they be inclusive so that they know exactly what their expenses are going to be?
I think they should plan for as much of your expenses as you can foresee.
Okay.
And that kind of gives you don't want any surprises. Mm-hmm. But any budget, I think you just need to plan based on your priorities, what you really want to get out of the trip. And, for some people, where they stay is not as important as what they do.
Oh, yes.
And maybe vice versa.
Sure.
So you can allocate your money based on your priorities.
What would be some of the activities that you might be able to sign up for? Say you were going for a spa vacation, a little spa getaway. What are some of the things that they might want to consider doing while they were gone?
I would always suggest to make time for at least one really, really nice meal.
Okay.
Because I think through food that gives us the experience of luxury.
Mm-hmm.
And so even on a small vacation, you could plan for a really nice meal, maybe some spa treatments or a massage. And a trip like that maybe would only be one night, but I think you would come back feeling really rested and rejuvenated.
And then if they wanted to take a longer vacation, maybe a long weekend, do you help give them ideas for like packing for the activities that they're going to be involved in so that they feel comfortable when they get there if they don't know what to expect?
Oh yes, definitely. And I think it's very important when packing less is definitely more.
Okay.
And trying to coordinate the things that you're packing so that you don't overpack.
Okay. So do you generally provide them with a list of some sort so they have some, so they don't arrive and find that they're scheduled for like a formal dinner and they didn't prepare for that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
And do you work with cruises or just bus trips, or what forms of transportation are available right now?
Well, cruises haven't come back yet.
Okay.
But, bus trips are coming back, and I would also suggest Amtrak.
Oh, I never thought, yes.
If you've never taken a trip with Amtrak, it is definitely very comfortable and very good because if you're traveling by yourself, there are lots of people around you and they get you where you're going. So it kind of takes the direction factor out of it for sure.
Well, it's fun talking with you. This is our guest is Sam Taylor, a travel advisor, and I think after all of this sickness and COVID going around, a lot of people are anxious to get out, and maybe they do want to just more or less dip their toe in the water. So you've got some great ideas for day trips, and I think even in our area, there is plenty to do. So we've talked about spas. How about like just a shopping day? Is that worth using a travel advisor for?
Sure, especially if you're going somewhere maybe that you haven't been before and you would like to get a little more tips on where you're going.
Yes, and then can you pick? Are there different do you recommend mall shopping as opposed to just like going to how does it work? I've never been on a shopping trip other than with on my own, but I think going with a group would be fun.
And definitely going with a group, I think it would be more where we don't have any outlet malls around here.
Okay.
I think it would be worth it, to go with a big group somewhere like that.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with us today, Sam, and for your great suggestions on how to get back in a safe manner if we want to start getting out of our homes and doing a little bit of travel and adventure.
Thank you so much for having me.
And when we come back, we're going to have some wardrobe tips so we know how to pack if we are going to take that next trip. Stay with us.
There's more inside the Hemp Mill than CBD products. There's a community. Stop in for Friday's Coffee Talk to enjoy free hemp coffee and treats. Patent-pending products made from hemp for anxiety, pain relief, and organic healthy eating. Cannabinoid products you can trust because the hemp is locally grown, processed, and formulated by us with patent-pending formulations. That includes our Pet Calm and dog biscuits. The Hemp Mill, women-owned and operated with nutritional offerings, local cards, gifts, jewelry, and trending fashions made by women-owned businesses. TheHempMill.net.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-654-9116. 800-654-9116. 800-654-9116. That's 800-654-9116.
You are cheap. No, I'm not. You are cheap. No, I'm not. You are cheap. No, I'm not. You are cheap. Well, maybe I am.
If you're buying a diamond ring for your wife, it's not cool to be cheap. If you're buying airline tickets, it's very cool to be cheap and called Trip Amigo, where you can fly anywhere in the world and save up to 75% on over 500 airlines and 300,000 hotels. Plus, rental cars and vacation packages. Visit family, friends, or go on a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. Go ahead, be cheap. We have special fares we're not allowed to publish. When you book your airline reservations with Trip Amigo, you'll spend your travel money when you get there, not by getting there. Call Trip Amigo now and mention the travel code AMIGO and save even more. Call Trip Amigo now.
800-772-4165. 800-772-4165. 800-772-4165. That's 800-772-4165.
Where there is nothing, artists see something. Where there is silence, they hear a melody. Where there is beauty, they create even greater beauty. In a region known for its beautiful mountain surroundings, our vibrant arts community makes the Allegheny Highlands a more colorful place to live and visit. Our passion for the arts is endless, and it's uniquely Allegheny.
Once again, from the Fox Radio Roanoke studio, here's Kathy Heberle.
Welcome back to Sisterhood of the Second Act. I'm Kathy Heberle, and our next guest is Darlene Marshall. Darlene is a retired school teacher. She was taught for over 30 years, and now she has a new career as a cabbie stylist. And tell us, how on earth did you get into this as your second act?
Well, about 3 years before I started thinking about retirement, I started buying cabbie. The clothes, it's great clothes, and a friend invited me to a show, and I went to a show, and I fell in love with this. I put on a piece and went, oh my, these are awesome. So after about 3 years, I started thinking about retirement, and when I retired, I wanted something to supplement my income, because it's a fixed income. So the opportunity was presented, and I became a cabbie stylist under someone to mentor me. So that's how I kind of got into it, and I just love it.
Well, how do you feel that it relates to women over 50 as far as, I think we all have walked into our closet and said, I have all these clothes, but I have nothing to wear. Give us some ideas of how you can help us with this dilemma.
That's my thing. You walk into your closet and think, I have nothing to wear, and you have so many things. Women tend to only really wear 15 things. When you think about it, per season. And so where we come in is we like to take what you already have in your closet, add a few pieces so you can do those 15 things, and you can mix and match and make a wardrobe capsule of about 15 different outfits using maybe 15 things.
Okay, so this is very intriguing. A capsule. Tell me a little bit more about that. What does that consist of? And do you help people? Is it based on color or style? What does that look like in somebody's closet?
So a wardrobe capsule would be maybe a jacket or a duster or a cardigan. So 2 toppers, 3 tops, 1 solid, maybe 2 solid, and 1 with a print. You might have bottom, you might have a white jean and a regular jean, or a pair of slacks, and maybe a dress. So, and that you can mix and match these pieces, and you want to be the same colorway, or maybe add a different, but you want to have some neutral pieces, but you definitely want to have some colorway, and you get your colors through your pattern piece. So
that sounds fun. So we learned about travel. So travel has always been something I think we get stuck on. When we want to pack for a trip, we don't want to overpack, but we want to have some different looks. That sounds like that would work. And how would you help somebody that was looking to travel put together something that would be easy for them to pack?
Well, first I would have them in my home. I have a boutique in my home. And we would figure out what size and what colors they like and what they were looking for, where they were going. Cabby has a lot of fabrics that are made of ponte or knit or mesh, so they roll up and they just feel, they don't wrinkle, so it's awesome. We have a parachute poly blouses, some of them, and they feel like silk, and you can ball them up and then they just magic. They're just not wrinkle. So it's great to travel that way, and you don't want to overpack on that too. You want to save room for shoes.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So what about the opportunity for women that are maybe looking for some extra income? How would this work for them, and what would be involved?
Well, I want to go back to why I started doing it as a supplement for my retirement, but my why kind of changed to help women feel, just as a positive shopping experience. And I know I'm probably not answering the question right, but my why has changed from just the financial to the relationship. So women want a positive shopping experience with human beings, and it's also a great business opportunity because it's more relevant today than ever. So to become a stylist, you simply talk to one of us and you can get all the information, and I mentor a team member, and that's how you come on. And it's really pretty, you have to be a self-starter, but it's okay. You've got people that'll help you along the way, and our training system is awesome. It's like-minded women. It's just it's fun. And the relationships I've built through all this is my why now.
We are talking with Cabby stylist Darlene Marshall, and now I would like to get into, you mentioned talking about shopping and the whole shopping experience. I know some of us just dread it, and I like this idea. It sounds like it's a little bit more of a custom experience. And tell me a little bit more about somebody that's looking to do some shopping with you, how they would go about that.
So shopping should not be a chore. You should have guidance. And so I have personal appointments in my home. I also, who wouldn't want a girls' night with your friends? I will go to someone else's home with the trunk. It's like a trunk show with my collection for that season. And I have about 100 pieces. I don't have every size in every piece, but I have enough to custom size and enough styling and fitting techniques that I use to help women find what color, what piece they would like. And it is just really fun because no one will be as honest with you than your friends. Oh man, let me try that on next. That looks amazing on you. Or I'm not, don't do that. But I would never say that. I would say, I'm just not quite feeling that outfit on you.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, and a way to make the whole shopping experience more of a pleasure. And I like that idea. And so if somebody wants to try a few pieces out, do you have some basics that you usually recommend that they start with if they want to give the clothing line a try?
Well, Cabby always has wonderful basics. We have wonderful Serenity tees that are different colors every season. And we also have wonderful denims, nice stretch denims. And all of our pieces are designed by women. We have 4 women of various sizes that design for us. So they look very nice on all women. So that's kind of where I would start. I need to have you in. It's a personal experience, personalized shopping experience, or an experience with friends. So,
and what size ranges do you cover?
0 through 16. We do have some extended sizes to 20. We have extra small in some things, all the way to extra large in some things. So we really service women, and we love to service women with the body that you're blessed with. Not, just embrace those curves.
Well, I love that idea. I think that's, and I think sometimes knowing that there are coordinating pieces that work well together, because you might find a pair of pants you love at a store, but then you can't find the shirt that matches, or it's not your size. So can these be ordered in all different sizes? And how does it work with colors? Are they limited, or do they have a...
Well, every 6 months, Cabby comes out with a new line. The colorway will come out in one colorway, an item. And then if it's a really popular top like the Serenity Tee, they'll make a different colorway the next years. But we don't say, if you have this top, we have it in 4 different colors. It's not like a catalog like L.O. Bean. Like you can get it, this shirt or this T-shirt, and you can get it in all these colors. It's not like that at all.
Okay. We are speaking with Cabby stylist Darlene Marshall, and she is just helping all of us women who really do not enjoy the shopping experience find a new way to shop. And even it sounds like we can do it from home if that's what we feel like doing, or perhaps we're not feeling well. And I like this. So do they have, it looks like you have catalogs here. Is that another?
Yes, we have various ways of shopping with Cabby. It can be a personal experience at my home. There we have an app, a Cabby Tap app, that is so neat because it will save whatever you've bought before, and it puts it in your closet. And so you can go to the app and click on the item that you already have, and it says, oh, by the way, this season we have these 5 things that will go with this jacket that you bought before, or this top that you bought before. So it is a marvelous tool. You can also shop on that app, and you can shop on my website, darlenemarshall.cabbyonline.com. So,
and we will post that on our show notes, so that you will have your contact information as well, so that if people want to get more information from you, that they'll be able to do that. So we're going to, in wrapping this all up, there's some great takeaways that I've learned from you. And I think for women that want to begin doing this and that have this dilemma, that a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear, I think if they got in touch with you and you gave them some advice, what would you recommend for them if they feel like they have clothes that just don't fit them anymore? Is it all right just to get rid of those? What do you tell them to do?
Oh, yes. If you haven't worn it in a year, it's time to either donate it, or if it's worn out, trash it. I love donating to clothes closets, battered women's shelters, and that's what I'll do with some of my Cabby my samples that I've had for many years. They are so appreciative of those things.
Well, what a nice way to end this. And we'll come back to wrap up the show after this, but I want to thank Darlene Marshall for being our guest and for helping women overcome their fear or stigma of shopping and feeling that nothing is going to fit them and that they don't know what will look good on them.
Well, just to be positive and feel confident in your dressing.
Thank you for being with us, Darlene. We'll be back to wrap up the show after this.
I'm going to be an oak tree.
I think I'll be a dogwood tree.
My kids said they be looking for a thorny tree from me.
With Evergreen, you can be a tree. Our biodegradable urn combines your ashes, natural soil additives, and a native tree of your choice. Be a tree and grow for tomorrow.
I want to be a tree.
Learn more at evergreenmemorialtrust.com.
See where a grateful nation remembers its heroes, and where Thomas Jefferson came to relax. Where small town charm is just down the road from big outdoor adventures. Find peace and quiet, as well as the sounds of family fun. Destination Bedford is located where the Piedmont Plateau meets the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Where ordinary ends, Bedford begins.
On today's edition of Sisterhood of the Second Act, we learned how to travel safely and what to pack and wear. Thank you for joining us, and come back next week for the next edition of Sisterhood of the Second Act.